Palma. Oh,
Oh,
pass. That's unfair, and Palma 7 points in the game. Janelle Fuentes. Delgado takes the shot and knocks it down. Maloria is open. 3-pointer. Oh my goodness!
Face a jumper by Robin Celis.
Caballero has time.
Just posterized by Scott.
Just a little 2 weeks to go before the end of the regular season as the playoff race is bound to get more intense dito po sa 7th season of the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Nagbabalik po ang Liga ng Bawat Pilipino dito sa Batangas City Coliseum. And we have these two teams na naging magkaiba ang kapalaran this season in the North Division. Yan ang ating first game, Nueva Ecija versus Quezon City, followed by a South Division clash between the Cebu Greats and the Davao Occidental Tigers. And in our main game, the Bulacan Cuyas will square off against the Batangas City Tanduay Rom Masters. Magandang hapon mga kalinga, Ken Pangilinan with Javi Palanya. And Javi, kaya nang binanggit ko, no, Quezon hindi nahawak yung kapalaran nila, while Nueva Ecija, aabangan nila yung matchup between Abra and San Juan, wanting to stay in the race for that top spot in the North.
that's right. Itong Nueva Ecija, all they want right now is to make sure that their habits are right going into the playoffs. No? Konti na lang yung mga games na remaining sa kanilang schedule. And for them, ang importante na lang sa kanila is they remain sharp and steady going into the postseason.
And you're watching us live on the official MPBL YouTube channel and also on Solar Sports later at 6 p.m. And also, we're live right now on pusop.com. And now let's bring in our courtside reporter, Miss Lyra Punsalan. And Lyra, no, merong some reunion of sorts. Dahil nga, ito si Coach Jeff Perlas has handled a couple of players para dito sa Nueva Ecija.
Maraming salamat, Ken. Proud full circle moment nga para dito kay Coach Jeff Perlas, who's now playing against his former players. Walang iba kundi ang Marcelino twins, si Tosi Tansinko at si Jesper Ayaay back in their LPU days. In his words, sabi niya, "It's so humbling to know that I was once part of their growth, and seeing them now play in one of the top teams in the North Division, excited daw siya to somehow know their player tendencies at para makita kung andun pa ang mga turo niya." 4:30 a.m. squad daw ang tawag sa kanila, nakasama si Nino Ibanez ng Quezon City as well in their training. True enough, that hard work and dedication is paying off even up until now. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. Dami pala, no? Nahawakan ni Coach Jeff. Of course, he was working together with Coach Topex para sa LPU Pirates. But first, balikan natin yung mga kaganapan. Last Saturday, we were in Orion, Bataan, and the North Division reigning supreme over the South, Pasig City winning over Mindoro, San Juan tinalo ang Gensan, and Bataan defeating itong Sarangani.
That was a surprising victory by Pasig over Mindoro. The Tamaraws, you know, they're also trying to get sharper and sharper heading into the postseason. But Pasig City with another surprising upset after they won their last game. Itong San Juan, they were able to make sure to get that mastery over the Gensan Warriors, while itong Bataan looking like they want to really lock in on that 10th spot in the Northern Division.
And well, speaking of the North Division, titignan natin yung logjam pagdating sa ating team standings. Again, top 3 teams still fighting for that number 1 spot, San Juan, Abra, and Nueva Ecija, while Quezon City, a loss here, Javi, would officially eliminate them from playoff contention.
No, actually, eliminated na talaga sila. The top 10 in the North are already determined. So, this is a no-bearing game already for Quezon City right now. Itong Nueva Ecija naman and Abra, San Juan, itong tatlong teams, posible pa itong magkaroon ng triple tie at the end of our season. So, it will all boil down to point difference kung sino ang magtatapos bilang 1, 2, and 3 if it ends up in a tie between San Juan, Abra, and Nueva Ecija.
And well, pagdating naman sa South Division, medyo magulo-gulo din, no? Because we see here the last 2 spots in the play-in pinaglalabanan ng Cebu and Davao, among them Sarangani, Imus, and Muntinlupa.
Yeah, dito naman sa South compared to the North where determined na yung mga ating mga playoff teams and play-in teams, dito sa South, marami pang pwede mangyari because as you mentioned, Cebu, Davao, Sarangani, Imus all still fighting for that last spot in the play-in tournament while Muntinlupa kind of hanging by a thread also on that ninth spot. So we'll see how things actually pan out here in the Southern Division. It's going to be an exciting race.
And well, when we talk about Nueva Ecija, we have Jammer Hamito na most notably started a lot of games for Gensan last season. Pero dito, coming off the bench for the majority of the time para sa Nueva Ecija, but it's nice to see him produce well in this game against Sarangani.
Yeah, in this game against Sarangani, he was one of 6 players who scored in double figures. And that was a very important win para sa kanila. Although they were able to blow out Sarangani in that game, but it just showed Coach Don Dulay that his words, no matter kung sino yung kalaban nila, they are always gonna give it their best.
And let's see if Jammer Hamito could sustain that momentum heading into this matchup kalaban ng Quezon City. And well, for the Galleries Taipan, it's been the theme for them this season that they've been getting into those lulls, especially in those crucial stretches, Javi. And well, Nino Ibanez, one of their leading scorers, kaya lang nahirapan din siyang makapuntos laban dito sa Gensan.
Yeah, if Nino Ibanez isn't able to produce, and mahihirapan talaga ang Quezon City because they don't have a lot of pieces to be able to contend with the other teams. Kitang-kita naman natin, although there's a lot of young talent and potential sa kanilang grupo, but Nino Ibanez is a guy that needs to be at the forefront of every game para sa Quezon City to give them a good chance of winning ball games, especially today against one of the top teams in the league.
Alright, it's Nueva Ecija kontra Quezon City in our first game. Punta na natin si Richard Tampos who's introducing our starting lineups.
This is the 2025 Manny Pacquiao's MPBL Season 7. Here are the starters. Up first, the MPBL Season 4 champions, Nueva Ecija Rise Vanguards. Forward number 25, MJ Ayay. At guard number 2, JP Calvo. Forward number 8, Robbie Celis. Playing center number 14, Will McCaloney. Shooting guard number 11, the MPBL Season 3 MVP, John Wilson. Their head coach is Don Dulay. Assistant coaches, Rob Wainwright, Matt Macalintal, Arnold Oliveros, Jonathan Oiloan, Rick Season, and Jesse James Bartolome. Assistant team manager, Jen Tignadice. The team manager, Raymond Dizon. Team owners are Ivan Cuevas, Ryan May Cuevas, and Bong Cuevas. Here's for the Quezon City Galleries Taipan. At forward number 5, Gabe Capaccio. Coming in at center number 12, Dave Bernabe. Starting at guard number 15, Nino Ibanez. At guard number 40, JK Casino. Power forward number 19, John Rojas. They're led by Martin Go with Jeff Perlas. Assistant coaches, JC Docto and Ricky Reyes. Team manager, JC Tan. And team owner is Honorable Joe Bentay. The game officials are crew chief.
Nueva Ecija rolling out their same starting unit from what they had in their last game against Sarangani. While for Quezon City, JK Casino, Nino Ibanez, Dave Bernabe, Edsel Rojas, and Gabe Capaccio ang magsisimula para kay Coach Jeff Perlas. Our referees for this ball game are Maynard Centeno, Jay Francisco, and Zen Manansala, with the fourth referee being EJ Carase. Nueva Ecija in white getting first crack at it. Quezon City in their dark threads immediately. Naka 2-3 zone itong Quezon City.
They're gonna try to neutralize itong size nitong Nueva Ecija. Let's see how this works here.
Okay, some jumper by Will Macaloni won't work. Rebound, Edsel Rojas.
Isa yan sa mga pinaka-importanting gagawin dapat ng Quezon City today. If they choose to play zone majority of the way, they're gonna have to crash the boards as a team. It has to be gang rebounding para sa kanila.
They go at the post. JK Casino against JP Calvo. Can't get it to go. Robbie Celis clears it for the Rice Vanguards. Macaloni gives it up to John Wilson, also making another start. Macaloni inside, the reverse is too strong. Nino Ibanez, guarded by John Wilson, gives it up to Gabe Capasio. Rojas, sa poste ulit, laban kay Robbie Celis. Edsel Rojas, pasa palabas kay Bernabe, shot clock winding down, 4 seconds left. Capasio getting past John Wilson, getting it off the glass and in.
A very patient ball movement right there para sa Quezon City. I thought that Rojas had the ball in his hands a little bit too long, but buti na lang JK Casino was able to set up Gabe Capasio there after that pass off by Bernabe.
QC up 2-0. John Wilson from beyond the arc gets it to go.
Ay, wala ka na talaga magagawa dun. He had his hand up talking about Gabe Capasio, but John Wilson's shot always tough to contend with because he shoots it from behind his head.
Edsel Rojas, hand off to Gabe Capasio. Ngayon na kay JK Casino, binabantayan ni JP Calvo. The switch, Macaloni trying to keep in step. They give it up. Edsel Rojas rejected by Celis. But was able to beat the buzzer? No, apparently not. It's a shot clock violation.
Yeah, but they're gonna have to review that. That was very close.
Let's see, in real time, yeah, it looked really close.
There's the block, and then you see Rojas pick it up. Still took a little bit too long to decide on what to do.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, wait a minute.
That's quite close. It's gonna count.
Just in the nick of time. Okay.
And that was very close.
So lamang ulit ang QC for free. Pangiti si Edsel doon, nakaisa siya doon kay Robbie Celis. Celis gives it up to John Wilson, quickly to Will Macaloni. JP Calvo finds John Wilson in stride, lays it in, plus the foul.
And the chemistry just continues to develop here para sa Nueva Ecija. You could see that JP Calvo, also a newcomer during the free agency trade window dito sa ating liga, now very much comfortable with his teammates dito sa Rice Vanguards.
John Wilson missing on the bonus free throw. Well, John Wilson and JP Calvo both have been starting at the backcourt because prior to their loss against Quezon, most of the time it was the Marcelino twins manning that backcourt to start with para dito sa Nueva Ecija.
And that's why Coach Don Dulay chose to change things up. And now that it's been working para sa kanila, they've been dominating their opponents. Why fix something that ain't broke?
May foul ulit laban sa Quezon City. The Cabanatuan Nueva Ecija native named Bernabe called for that foul. Almost 3 minutes gone by in the first period. Robbie Celis up top. MJ Ayaay for 3. Mintes. Bernabe nakuha yung rebound. Nueva Ecija ang abante dito, 5-4. Capasio. Ilabas muna pamunta kay Ibanez. Ibanez. Bounce pass to Edsel Rojas. Masyadong masikip. Capasio pupukol galing sa labas. Sablay. At nakuha ni Ayaay ang rebound quickly to John Wilson. Skip pass to Will Macaloni. Nice entry pass by Ayaay to Robbie Celis, who earns himself 2 free throws.
Well, Bernabe a little bit too slow to get down there, and that's why Celis only had Ibanez on him.
Puntan muna natin at courtside si Miss Lyra Punsalan.
Coach Don Dulay continues to steer the Rice Vanguards with his calm but sharp leadership as they inch closer to locking the North's top seed. We always want to set the tone because that's our foundation for keeping good habits. It doesn't matter who we play against, he shared. Despite already holding one of the best records in the league, he refuses to let complacency creep in, reminding his players that the playoffs are a whole different battle. What stands out in his approach is how he balances toughness with trust, giving his veterans the space to lead habang sinisigurado that the younger guys stay accountable. For him, it's about sharpening their identity as a defensive powerhouse ready for the grind ahead. Back to you guys.
Oh, and MJ Ayay with a slam. Maraming salamat, Lyra, for that report. And well, MJ Ayay, one of their veterans, certainly letting his game do the talking here. As Nueva Ecija is up 8-4, 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Pangalawang rejection na ni Celis kay Edsel Rojas. At si John Wilson nakakuha ng rebound para sa Nueva Ecija.
And the Rice Vanguards here early on really doubling down on the defensive end, making sure that most of the time they're stopping Quezon City in the gaps, not allowing them any opportunity to have any inside incursions.
JP Calvo free for a free. It will roll out. Nueva Ecija is in front by 4 points. Nino Ibanez off the dribble. Shot will not count. Foul will be called against John Wilson.
He was asking for a lift, I think, or maybe he was trying to tell the referees that Ibanez actually hooked him.
Gixer, great move of the game, born for greatness. Out of nowhere, MJ Ayay.
Well, he's always had those hops ever since college naman. No? And the maganda talaga din kay MJ Ayay, he's always been a two-way player.
Wow, 3 blocks already from Robbie Celis. And we're not even halfway through the first quarter.
Robbie Celis is a very decent defensive player, but we don't really know him to be a good shot blocker. Just like this, 3 shot blocks already in the first quarter.
Ganda ng timing ni Kuya Cap doon. John Wilson has repeatedly complained to our game officials and mawawarningan siya dito. Dave Bernabe at the line, former CEU Scorpion, knocks down the first. Mintis yung kanyang pangalawa. John Wilson snags another board. JP Calvo, bounce pass to Robbie Celis, finds an opening. Nifty bounce pass papunta kay Will Macaloni for the deuce. 10-5 na ang ating talaan dito. Nino Ibanez can't shake off JP Calvo. Dave Bernabe tries an outside jumper. It will not drop.
And Nueva Ecija's defense not really giving Quezon City a lot of options here offensively, but this is a nice steal for Nino Ibanez.
Almost losing control of the basketball. Casino recovers. Tight pass. Ibanez. Nice cut. And the floater will go in para kay Nino Ibanez.
Still able to make something out of it there. And despite bobbling the basketball a little bit, naka-recover ang QC at nakascore.
10-7 na ang ating talaan. MJ Ayay drills in a trifecta. Lead up to 6. 13-7. Under 4 minutes left in our opening frame. Capasio. Nasundutan ni JP Calvo. 2-on-1 fast break for Nueva Ecija. Ayay will take it upon himself and score his 7th point of the ballgame.
A 2-on-1 break, he just decides that, no, I'm going to take this shot. I'm going to try and increase my total.
Fast break of the game is brought to you by Extreme X Pop, personal karaoke speaker, everyday karaoke. And MJ Ayay, 2 more points, getting himself another start. At itong Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards, opening things up with an 8-point lead, 15-7. Nueva Ecija handily beating down Sarangani here 115-67.
Yeah, very dominant win para sa Rice Vanguard sa laro na yan. No? So umpisa pa lang talagang they made sure that they were gonna do everything in their power to play almost a perfect game, and that's exactly what they did. And here, it's nothing different. Defensively, they have been stopping Quezon City in their tracks. Robbie Celis, meron na nga 3 blocks sa laro na to. Let's see how the guys from the bench make a difference here for Quezon City.
And this has been their problem all season long. Quezon City, they just get into those junctures where they just can't buy a bucket.
Kaya nga sinasabi natin kanina at the top of our coverage that important na si Nino Ibanez, he needs to get going all the time para sa Quezon City dahil wala nga silang ganun karaming pyesa compared to the other teams. Although if it's grit and determination, they definitely have that.
Nobody scoring in double figures in their last game against the Jensen Warriors. Bola natapik. Ibanez though, committing a traveling violation.
He's been forced into a lot of difficult situations here in the first quarter. Different guys defending him dito pa lang sa umpisa ng ating laro. Earlier it was JP Calvo, now it's JC Marcelino. That's always a tough cover. Those two guys, excellent defensive players. And Ibanez is going to have to figure out a way to try and get around these guys, maneuver his way out of it without using his speed too much dahil baka masyado rin siya mapagod. The fatigue might play a factor later on in this game.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. Nasundutan si Christian Managitay ni Greg Cunanan. Franz Diaz nails that shot from downtown.
Rojas could have been the higher percentage look. He was close to the basket, but Cunanan opting to go to his scope point guard here in Franz Diaz, who makes it a three-pointer para sa kanila.
JV to JC, tries to answer back, and he does. That's a long two-point shot though from JC Marcelino. 17-10. 7 points separating these two squads. Jerome Santos. Nakaswitch sa kanya si Macaloni. Edsel Rojas, aatakin yung depensa ni Manaytay. Pasa palabas kay Franz Diaz. 3 segundo sa shot clock, but it does not matter because Robles coming away with a steal. JV susubok sa 3. And Jerome Santos snags down the board. Quezon City just behind by 7 here. Edsel Rojas wants to post up Christian Manaytay. Quick pass to Greg Cunanan, who tried to drive baseline. And a foul committed by JV Marcelino.
And that's already going to be the 4th team foul here para sa Nueva Ecija.
3-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances. Franz Diaz, not really known as a reliable 3-point shooter, but able to knock down that trifecta. Jason Puray, pasa ulit kay Franz Diaz. Balik kay Puray, susubok sa 3. Way off target, Jammer Hamito grabs the rebound.
And that's the one guy who also needs to get going para sa Quezon City, si Jason Puray.
Billy Ray Robles nailing that mid-range jumper.
You don't always see the longest Superman taking jumpers usually here in the season. And that's one shot that he can definitely still make.
John Gabriel against Jammer Hamito. Catch and shoot free from Jerome Santos. Tatalbog palabas. Agawan sa bola. Napunta kay JV. To JC. Quickly to Jammer Hamito, who flips it up and in.
Well, the running game has been very fortunate here para sa Nueva Ecija because they've been able to get a lot of stops. If it's not rebounds, they're forcing turnovers here on Quezon City.
Franz Diaz gets into the paint. No look pass to Jason Puray. Try to get it back. Bola natapik. Na kay Cunanan. may sundot at mayroon ding foul laban sa Nueva Ecija.
Nakikita mo kung gaano kahirap para sa Quezon City na mag-set up sa kanilang half court. Nueva Ecija is very active here defensively. Their feet moving laterally, the hands are very active, and yung anticipation nila halos parating tama.
Also a former LPU Pirate, Greg Cunanan. May pasok ang kanyang unang free throw. Coach Jeff Perlas. Cunanan knocks down both. About a 3-second differential between shot and game clock. Actually, patay na yung shot clock dito. Last shot time for the Rice Vanguards. Christian Manaytay gives Nueva Ecija a double-digit lead. And first quarter in the books. Inunti-unti na Nueva Ecija yung paglayo dito against Quezon City. And the Quezon City Galleries Taipan searching for answers as Nueva Ecija got off to a really strong start.
7 points early here para kay MJI, doing at both ends of the floor. Nueva Ecija once again having their defense, fueling their offense. Gabe Capasso running into a tight situation there. Ayay, that was one of his 3 buckets. All of them coming in transition. And here, JV Marcelino coming off the bench. JC making an impact with the guys from the second unit, including Jamar Hamito, which gives Nueva Ecija an early advantage, leading by 11 after the first.
Quezon City nabigo laban sa Gensan Warriors 76-61, and they just had trouble executing their offense. And for more, puntahan natin si Miss Lyra Punsalan.
Coach Jeff Perlas is keeping it super chill and composed kahit sobrang tight na ng standings for that last playing spot in the north. For him, hindi daw helpful to stress over the pressure. Focus muna sa ngayon, every possession, every game, he said. And kahit may struggles this season, he's proud na players like Edsel Rojas, Jordan Santa Ana, and Nino Ibanez are stepping up big time and showing na kaya nilang makipagsabayan sa malalakas na teams. Para kay Coach Jeff, hindi lang goal yung playoffs but also building identity and toughness for this young squad. His vibe is simple. Stay disciplined, stay tough, and trust the work na ginagawa nila. Kasi playoffs man o hindi, the growth and character they're showing will always be the real win. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat. Always si Coach Jeff finding those different layers, no, na pwedeng pagkuhanan ng motivation itong Quezon City as they wind down their regular season.
And Coach Jeff has always been a very optimistic and positive person, always trying to look at the good side of things. At ang importante naman sa kanya dito, nakikita niya yung mga player niya na gumagaling sa kanilang mga karera, especially here in the professional ranks. It is a privilege to be going up guys like Jammer Hamito, JV Marcelino, a lot of former PBA players here in the league. And I'm sure these guys from Quezon City, they do realize that this is a really good opportunity for them to grow as players and also as men off the court.
Jerome Santos, nice looking stroke right there.
Yeah, that's one guy who also could get going here para sa Quezon City. He has shooting ability and the ability to see the floor as a tall guard bodes very well para sa kanila.
The Marcelino twins still together in the backcourt with Christian Manaytay, Billy Robles, and Jammer Amito. Franz Diaz, another 3-point attempt, another one knocked down by the Ilonggo.
And he and Greg Conanan connecting very well here in the first half. That's the second 3-pointer for France and the second assist para kay Greg Conanan in transition. That was a 4-on-2 break para sa Quezon City.
Sasaksak si JC, wala. Pero nandoon si Jammer Amito to follow it up.
If you're in Nueva Ecija, you have a guy like Jammer Hamito and Christian Manaytay manning the shaded area, you're going to be confident to put up different kinds of shots anytime because you know that they're going to be crashing the glass.
27-19. Little over 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Naibaba ulit sa 6 ang lamang with that jumper.
In Quezon City, they're showing that grit and grind, the determination that they've been known for all season long. Alam naman yan ni Coach Jeff, hindi naman yan bago na para sa kanya na yung kupunan niya, hindi naman talaga ganun karami yung talento na meron nila. What's important is that lumaban sila dun sa effort department. Working hard, possession in, possession out, and maybe try to put those things in their favor. Dahil pag magyari yun, may chances sila para manalo. And here, they get an opportunity to score courtesy of John Gabriel.
Big Bang Toto, nasa loob na for Nueva Ecija. Well, ginawa din nila yun, no? Representing CEU, defeating San Beda in the finals. So Jeff Perlas was the leader of that squad and he's trying to inject some life dito sa Quezon City. Jerome Santos waxing hot here for the Quezon City Galleries Taipan.
I think they've already gotten a shot in the arm because of these baskets by Jerome Santos. Earlier, you also saw a 3 galing kay Franz Diaz. And the Galleries Taipan only down by 3 points here.
Nagbabalik po ang Liga ng Bawat Pilipino dito po sa loob ng Batangas City Coliseum. Quezon City is behind by 3 against the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. 27-24 after trailing by 11 earlier. Byron Villarias with another long 2-pointer para sa Nueva Ecija.
Coming out of the timeout, Nueva Ecija able to execute and set up their shooter in Byron Villarias, but he had his foot on the line.
Sa poste, John Gabriel against Jammer Hamito and was able to draw a foul.
Yeah, 2 long-standing veterans here in the league, banging bodies with each other on the block, and Gabriel getting the better of that matchup against Jammer Hamito.
Itong free throw na ito ay hatid sa atin ng Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
Gabriel having some quality minutes here in the second quarter para dito sa Quezon City. It's giving Coach Don Dulay a little bit of a headache here as this young QC squad are really trying to keep in step with the Rice Vanguards with the help of their veteran big man. That's a backing violation.
Rare mental lapse from JV Marcelino.
And this is what you don't want to see if you're Nueva Ecija. Coach Don Dulay and his wards, they've been dominating all their opponents ever since their loss to Quezon on their home floor. But here in this game, Quezon City giving them a lot of problems.
Well, they make up for that with a steal. Off to the races, JC Marcelino. Counted plus a foul.
Well, yan na naman talaga ang challenge kung ikaw ang Quezon City, no? Pagkalaban mo isang veteranong team tulad ng Nueva Ecija, hindi ka rin naman pwede magkamali.
Fast break of the game is brought to you by Extreme X Play on the go speaker. Take your music anywhere.
We like to say here that when you're a team like Quezon City, you go up against one of the top teams in the league. What you won't need to do is play near perfect basketball.
JC na ipasok yung kanyang free throw. 32-26. Well, that's been the point of emphasis by Coach Don Dulay. They want his guys to be sharper as they gear towards a bigger goal. is to win another championship for the province of Nueva Ecija.
Of course, Nueva Ecija already won it a few seasons ago. Coach Don Dulay, also a former champion in this league. And this is a different time, but they want to prove that they could be the top franchise once again dito sa ating liga.
And obviously, there's so much pressure for them because as we see an offensive foul called.
Lots of pressure, yep. Especially because of the lineup that they built. This is a very deep team, one of the deepest in the league. A lot of experience among all these guys. Lots of former PBA players. Some proven winners already with this team. Kaya naman ang ina-expect ni Boss Bong Cuevas and the rest of his family as team owners dito sa Nueva Ecija is for the Rice Vanguards to win it all again.
And in fact, as you see Jammer Amito score, balik sa 10 ang lamang. After that loss they had against the Quezon Huskers, immediately when they went up against the Ilagan Isabela Cowboys on their home floor, you saw Boss Bong Cuevas during the half. He got interviewed there and kumbaga hindi niya tinago no, na it's championship or bust for them. And sabi nga niya, to end his interview, gusto niya madagdagan ng isa pang banner sa itaas ng kanilang venue na para dito sa Nueva Ecija.
No, kasi dahil kung hindi yung mangyari, we might see some changes next season for this team.
Byron Villarias, this time it's a free. And this is now their biggest lead at 13 points.
Villarias, one of the more vital cogs for Nueva Ecija in that championship run in Season 4 of the MPBL. Big reason why they were able to dominate the rest of the playing field here in the league.
Oo, unti na nga lang silang natira dyan eh. Bobby Balucanag there, London Arenas. Remaining remnants of that championship team back in 2022. And also, they want to go for 2 championships. That's back-to-back frees galing kay Byron Villarias.
And Quezon City caught in one of those scoreless stretches. On the other hand, Byron Villarias waxing hot here from the outside. This all started from that 2-point shot that he hit earlier. He had his foot on the line. Now he's come back to shoot 2 straight threes, helping Nueva Ecija to the 16-point advantage.
And timeout Quezon City. Will be right back. Back with us here inside the Batangas City Coliseum. Under 4 minutes left in the second period. Man.
Oh, that's an offensive foul against Quezon City.
It was 27-24 earlier. Since then, the Rice Vanguards unleashing a 15-2 run to get their biggest advantage at 16 points. Nagbalik na si Robbie Celis, maging si John Wilson. Pero offensive foul din ang ipipito laban kay John Wilson.
Using that offhand to kind of hook out his defender and get past him. Quezon City still has a lot of time here to finish the second quarter strong. Try to get this lead down to single digits. That would be the more ideal situation para sa kanila.
Denzel Rojas operating down low. That time he was blocked by JC Marcelino.
I don't think he was blocked. I think he wanted to pass, but it was well read by the defense of the Rice Vanguards. Yan yung mga nangyayari sa kanila ngayon, no? Nueva Ecija shutting down almost all of the options. And wow, look at JC Marcelino just breeze through the basket, a little ball fake there to try and get the defense into thinking that he would pass. But he went all the way to the cup, that speed killing the defense of QC.
18 na ang kalamangan ng Nueva Ecija. Pwede pa nilang dagdagan yan on this possession. Robbie Celis facing up against Edsel Rojas. Binigay muna ay Byron Villarias. Pasa sa ilalim. Hamito. Supalpal. Inabot niya ay Dave Bernabe. Nino Ibanez. Ganap na papasahan. Nice entry pass. Bernabe sealing off John Wilson. Before the shot though, a foul committed by the former MPBL MVP.
Yeah, here was the pass earlier by Rojas where he decided to at the last minute, and then this happened on the ensuing play, turning the corner. JC Marcelino to his strong side on the left, finishing comfortably at the basket.
18 ulit. 18 ang lamang. Bola na agaw ni Byron Villarias. Touch passing leads to another fast break point for the Rice Vanguards.
That ball not lasting even a second on Will Macaloni's hands. Right away locating the trailing Robbie Celis.
19-2 run. Rojas, Mintis, Celis with another rebound. Calvo balik kay Robbie Celis, sidestep. No foul call. Transition opportunity for QC. De La Rosa stepping back. Midi jumper won't work.
See there, fast break opportunity. Usually you try to find a layup, but Nueva Ecija's defense getting back down to stop that and forcing Quezon City into a lower percentage look. On the other side, they've been getting higher percentage shots.
The most efficient team in the league, Nueva Ecija, generating 16 assists. They are #1 in the league in that department. Meanwhile, nag-DIY doon si Nino Ibanez. Getting to the cup. Basket plus the foul.
Ibanez just attacking the middle there. Calvo failing to clog the lane. But this was the nice pass by Robbie Celis out of the double team. Villarias left wide open on the right side of the baseline.
Ibanez with 5 points. Lead at 19. Calvo. Oh, nice wraparound pass to Will Macaloni.
And they just continue to pulverize Quezon City inside the paint. They're having their way going inside that painted area. And the problem for Quezon City is the help defense is nowhere to be found. Rotation-wise, hindi nila maunahan yung mga player ng Nueva Ecija because earlier it was the Marcelino twins. Now it's JP Calvo trying to really push the pace and set up the tempo, making it very quick inside para sa Rice Vanguards.
26 na segundo na lang nalalabi dito sa second period. Nueva Ecija opportunity to take the last shot. Calvo will milk some time. Quezon City in penalty. Calvo. I thought about that free. Draws closer. Kicks it out. Back to JP Calvo. Left that one short. And Quezon City was able to trim the gap to as low as 3 points. But since then, a 23-5 run galing dito sa Rice Vanguards, led by Jammer Hamito off the bench once again, contributing really well para dito sa Nueva Ecija.
One of the guys who really was the one who set the tone in that second quarter after Quezon City got close within 3 points. Hamito, one of those guys who made those easy shots inside para sa Quezon City. Nueva Ecija rather.
Halftime score, 50-29, Nueva Ecija on top against Quezon City by 21 points. Okay, ito po ang ating halftime score. 50-29, Nueva Ecija, abante kontra dito sa Quezon City Galleries Taipan. And well, we saw Nueva Ecija just got off to a strong start as always. Quezon City though, we saw them draw closer, especially in that second period. It was 29-26, but Nueva Ecija unleashing that 19-0 run to just pull ahead and break this game wide open.
Yeah, just when we thought that the Rice Vanguards were already in trouble in letting Quezon City get back in the game, the Rice Vanguards, they responded with that huge run as you mentioned, and different guys rising to the occasion para sa kanila, being led by Jamar Hamito, who has scored 10 points in this game along with Byron Villarias. But you have a lot of guys here scoring at least 7 points para sa kanilang koponan, which really helped Nueva Ecija establish this huge lead, making it a problem for Quezon City to get back. Malaki tong kalamangan na kailangan nilang i-overcome.
Punta natin at courtside si Miss Lyra Punsalan.
Nueva Ecija's Jamar Hamito is playing ultra-inspired lately. Fresh from celebrating his birthday with his son Jaden sa Jollibee, bida ang saya vibes talaga ang dala niya sa court at kita naman agad kasi nag-best player pa siya in their last game. Hamito shared na moments like this remind him why discipline and consistency are so important, not just for himself, but as a role model to his kid. With that extra fuel from family love and the Rice Vanguards pushing towards the playoffs, Hamito's showing na joy and discipline can be the perfect combo to keep shining on the hardwood. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Lyra, for that report. Happy birthday to the son of Jamar Hamito. As we see a foul immediately, 15 seconds in against Jerome Santos. So Coach Jeff Perlas mixing things up here. Totally different unit to start the third quarter para sa Quezon City. While for Nueva Ecija, John Wilson, who started this ball game, now comes off the bench to begin the third as he committed 3 fouls in the first half. Si Billy Robles yung pumalit sa kanya in that starting unit.
Yeah, although John Wilson was unable to get 5 points in that first half, those 3 fouls really hampered him from staying on the floor much longer than what he might have expected.
Franz Diaz had a couple of threes in the first half, and he's the one leading the charge for Quezon City with 6 points. Nino Ibanez with 5. 4 each from John Gabriel and Craig Munanan.
That's a foul on JP Calvo, but you see how unforgiving this defense of Nueva Ecija has been for the majority of this game. Hirap na hirap humanap ng papasahan itong Quezon City. Hirap na hirap sila humanap ng mga butas sa depensa because there seems to be none. Robbie Celis already with his 4th block of the game. He had 3 just in the first quarter alone.
Tig 10 puntos naman for Byron Villarias and Jamar Hamito. And 7 apiece for JC Marcelino and MJ Ayay, both former LPU Pirates under Coach Topex Robinson with Coach Jeff Perlas. Still the same score we had at the half. Franz Diaz attacks, kick out pass, Craig Cunanan misfires from the outside. Pass to Celis from Robles. Agawan sa bola. Napunta na kay MJ Ayay. Macaloni thought he got hit. Unable to put that one in.
I don't think he just thought that he got hit. He definitely did get hit, but no whistle was blown by our officials.
Supply ulit galing kay Craig Cunanan from the left wing. Billy Robles, maybe that one. Puray with a rebound. Quezon City needs to run. And that time, off a pass. Foul will be whistled against MJ Ayay.
Able to draw the foul, but opted to kick it out. I thought he could have gotten 2 free throws there, but decided at the last moment that he wanted to kick it out to a trailing Franz Diaz on the left side.
Robles, nakuha ulit yung bola. Robbie Celis, easy layup on the other side. 3 33 puntos na ang abante dito ng Nueva Ecija. Over 2 minutes gone by. Jerome Santos fires. Off target. MJ gives it up to JP Calvo. Not forcing the pass to Robles. Instead, it goes to Celis. Now it eventually finds to Robles. Ayaay. Pasa sa ilalim. At huling tumulak si Ilonggo Superman. Giving a Robles whistle for that foul. Coach Don Dulay, Coach Rob Wainwright. Well, his former teammate, Coach Don Ontiveros, will be the one manning the sidelines along Coach Junti Valenzuela. Cebu will play later against Davao Occidental. Of course, Coach Don Dulay won a championship with that team back in Season 3. Jason Puray Mintes tried to get his own miss. Ball ends up with JP Calvo. Dalawang Ilonggo pala magkalaban dito, Calvo at si Franz Diaz. At yung pasa ni JP Calvo papunta kay Robbie Celis, nagtagumpay. Robbie Celis with a 3-point play opportunity.
There just seems no stopping Nueva Ecija at this point right now. That's just an easy drive by JP Calvo. Defense not even stopping him midway through that attack. Celis cutting, right timing, and nobody giving him that much resistance, finishing easily through the contact given to him by the Quezon City defense.
Nueva Ecija though, that's been their Waterloo all season, those free throws. Although Celis makes good on that one, 3 out of 7 as a team, itong Rice Vanguards at the line.
And I think yan yung isa sa mga bagay talaga na gustong pag-igihan talaga ng Nueva Ecija heading into the postseason, where we know the games will be tougher, where the games will be more intense, where the games will be closer. And in close games, you want to be able to make sure that you make the most out of every opportunity that's presented to you, especially those free throws, because those free throws, most of the time in playoff series especially, can spell the difference in close games as well.
Well, we've seen that a few times already this season, particularly Celis missing 2 key free throws, which enabled Diego Dario to nail that game-winning triple in Palayan City. So we had Camson missing 4 free throws, which gave some life to Pasay, earning a road victory as well over Rizal. Jerome Santos, Mintis. JP Calvo secures it for Nueva Ecija. Still in the midst of a 26-3 run.
Quezon City's field goal shooting has gone down to 28% in this game.
MJ Ayaay matulis yung kanyang 3. Offensive rebound, JC Marcelino. Na kay Will Macaloni naman ang bola, naagaw ni Nino Ibanez. Franz Diaz lines it up, off target. Ball will go back to the Rice Vanguards. For Quezon City, unfortunately, mukhang malabo-labo no, yung kanilang misyon na makapasok sa play-in. LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. Although they did have that win against Bataan in the regular season, as Calvo misfires from the outside. Nanalo din sila sa Mindoro di ba?
Yes.
I mean, when you look at how their season has transpired here, I mean, they've had a couple of wins against teams who are pretty much in play-in picture. Talking about Mindoro and Bataan.
Well, you know, I think for Coach Jeff, all he wanted this season para dito sa kanyang koponan was just to make sure na each game lalaban at lalaban sila, no? Alam naman niya na talagang dehado sila halos every game. But they managed to pull out some impressive upsets. They've managed to stretch games or stretch opponents who are highly favored into their limits. But unfortunately, there have been a lot of games kung saan talagang kinulang lang talaga sila.
Oh man, this is a massive run by Nueva Ecija right now. 31-3 run.
And I thought by the way Quezon City was playing earlier, that would have really given them a lot of the edge, because they were trying to get Nueva Ecija really startled with the shots that they were making. However, Villarias and company, actually, I think it really all started with that bench unit. You know, when the guys from the bench came in, that second unit led by JC and JV, Byron Villarias was also part of that. When that second unit came in, nag-iba yung energy. And ever since, even if the starters came back in, that energy has been sustained. The sharpness as well has never looked better in this game para sa Rice Vanguards, and the shooting, impeccable.
Lead still at 29 points. So at least we know for a fact that in the North Division, alam mong 1, 2, 3 yung San Juan, Abra at Nueva Ecija. Magkakatalo na lang kung sining 1, sining 2, sining 3. And then you have that log jump from 4, 5, 6, and 7 between Pangasinan, Caloocan, Pampanga, and Pasay. One of those 4 teams will have to go through the play-in, and those teams are just separated by half a game. You see the free throw shooting again. Maganda yung sa Quezon City, 8 out of 9. Nueva Ecija, 4 of 8. But efficient shooting from the field, really offsetting that para dito sa Nueva Ecija. But again, magulo-gulo, Javi, yung sa Norte, no? Pagdating din sa play-in, actually, Pasig, pwede bang umabante against Ilagan, because Ilagan only 1 game left, while Pasig, they won against Ilagan. How about Pasig though? That last week against Ilagan, Isabela, and Mindoro, certainly impressive.
No doubt about it. As we see Villarias knock down another 3-point shot. No, itong Pasig, tulad ng Quezon City, halos wala rin sila masyadong pyesa. Although Pasig has the edge maybe in terms of experience ng kanilang mga player, but they don't really have a lot of talent to show for, no? But they've really surprised us with some big wins this season, especially the last 2 victories that they've had. Imagine going up against an Ilagan Isabela Cowboys team as Villarias gets another 3-point shot there. That's, I think, his 5th of the game. Pasig has managed to pull off some very close victories just because of the teamwork and the energy that they have displayed, yung willingness nila na to leave everything on the floor and to just let the outcome be decided for what they put in effort-wise.
Isa pang magandang kwento doon, as Coach Jeff Perlas still trying to coach hard itong Quezon City with regards to Pasig. Boy, Warlo Patak has really come into his own.
Oh yeah.
He's now the most recent player of the week, and for good reason. Those averages he had, particularly yung assist, have, 13 assists in those last 2 games, is certainly an eye-opener para sa tropang Pasig.
Yeah, and ever since that All-Star Day, where he was a first-time All-Star in the North versus South encounter, I think after that, makita mo talaga sa kanya yung body language niya, yung kumpiyansa niya, it went up maybe 2-3 notches higher. And nakikita mo na mas sharp na rin yung pag-iisip niya sa laro, mas mabagal na yung tingin niya sa laro in his head. He can anticipate a lot of things. He's become smarter just by playing with those veterans in that game. I think that really fast-tracked his development here in the league, and that's why a lot of the other parts of his game have been blossoming as well, as compared to his athleticism, which we already know that he has.
Bumilis yung development, pero the game certainly has slowed down for him as we see that shot go down for Nino Ibanez. and we've alluded to with the development of Warlo Batak could certainly really determine how far Pasig City can go. And boy, they are creeping in the north, a division where these two teams are currently at. Nueva Ecija, abante ng 32 puntos. Byron Villarias coming back, missing a few games, knocking down some threes. Pasa sa ilalim. JV palabas kay JC against JK Casino. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Macaloni will force it up. Way off the mark.
A little bit of a tough angle to work with there para kay Will Macaloni.
Ladimo, naghanap ng papasa. Napunta kay Edsel Rojas. Gabe Capacio. Ball bouncing off the rim.
And I thought Casino already had an open shot right there. Decided to pass it off to Capacio, who had somebody already ready to close out on him.
Wala nang isang minuto na lalabi sa ating pangatlong yugto. Will Macaloni getting a free run to the basket. Nueva Ecija doubling the output of Quezon City, 68-34. Ladimo tries an outside jumper. Then Nueva Ecija just clamping down on the defensive end.
They're cruising right here in this game, Ken. Everything seems to be second nature to them right now.
Last shot time, JV. Villarias got blocked. It will stay with the Rice Vanguards. 4.1 seconds remaining. Hamito comes in for Will Macaloni. Baseline inbound, JC. Inside the arc, knocks that one down just to beat the buzzer. And ganun-ganun lang, napalobo na ng Nueva Ecija yung kanilang kalabangan dito kontra Quezon City. Highlights of the game brought to you by Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration.
Nueva Ecija just playing impressive team basketball right now, already with 25 assists in this game. And we just played 3 quarters. We still have another 10 minutes to go. They're doing this on 28 made field goals compared to Quezon City, who was only shooting 11 out of 43 attempts in this game. They've limited the gallery's type path to only 25% shooting. So both ends of the floor, the Rice Vanguards looking very sharp here. After that scare in the second quarter, they have looked nothing but dominant.
70-34 Nueva Ecija with a 36-point lead. Say hi to our fan of the game. Gixer fan of the game, born for greatness. Mamaya po, Cebu Greats will go up against the Davao Occidental Tigers. And to cap things off this Monday, magkatunggali ang Bulacan Cuyas at ang Batangas City Tanduay Rom Masters. Muli po Ken Pangilinan, kasama si Javi Palanya at si Lyra Punsalan. At kita niyo yung quarter scoring. Hindi na siguro kailangan ipaliwanag, no, kung gaano ka-dominant itong Nueva Ecija kontra Quezon City in each of the 3 quarters. 23-12, 27-17, 20-5 in that third.
Yeah, it's been a crazy run right now for Nueva Ecija. As we mentioned right before we finished the third quarter and went into the break, Quezon City, they were able to get to within 3 points, but it's been a big turnaround for Nueva Ecija ever since then. They do have that tendency, you know, we've seen that in some of the games this season. I think one game that comes to my mind was Bacolod, when Bacolod was able to, I think they were in the lead by just a point heading into the halftime break. And ever since that, they dominated in the second half, talking about the Rice Vanguards. So they have that tendency to start out slow and then let the opponent control the game. But after that, when Coach Don Dulay especially makes his adjustments, his players respond. Pero siguro siyempre, ang mas ideal para kay Coach Don, umpisa pa lang talagang gawin na ng Nueva Ecija ng tama. Huwag na nilang bigyan ng chance yung kalaban. Kahit sino pa yan. Whether it's a team at the bottom of the team standings or it's a top team in the league. Especially dahil matatapos na yung regular season natin. Sa playoffs, lahat na yan top teams makakalaban nila.
At yun naman, yung nananatiling misyon para dito sa Nueva Ecija. After winning the championship in Season 4, John Wilson now in for the Rice Vanguards. Well, disappointing finishes in the past couple of seasons after that title. Swept by San Juan in the North Division semifinals and then got swept by Pampanga also in the semifinals in the North. So hindi man lang sila umabot ng North Division finals the last 2 years. And well, they've got stiff competition in the North. Of course, Abra and San Juan will meet on Thursday.
Yes, that's going to be one of the more anticipated games of the season, especially because of the heavy implications that will play. And Nueva Ecija is part of those teams that will be watching attentively while JC Marcelino, he really just can soar in the air. He's like a bunny when he hops.
Oo, effortless eh. Sabi niya mag-focus muna kayo dito. Dahil nga Nueva Ecija, I mean, of course, they are anticipating the result of that impending matchup. Fast break of the game brought to you by Extreme Cool Air Conditioners. Ang Extreme Magpalamig, free installation for split-type air conditioners. Oh, Jammer Ramito slamming it down with his offhand.
Well, I still do remember that time when Jammer Hamito was a participant in the PBA dunk contest, one of their all-star weekends.
Ano bang ginawa niya doon?
But I don't think a lot of people took him seriously in that competition. Well, here, just really trying to stuff it in the very simplest of manners. A little Statue of Liberty jam by Jammer Hamito.
Jammer with a hammer. And Nueva Ecija, 39 na puntos ng lamang, tripling the assist output of Quezon City. I mean, just going back to that Abra San Juan matchup, Javi, a lot of subplots there. Of course, it will be the very first time since they've been together. Jammer with back-to-back dunks. And yun nga, no? Orlan Wamar, now the face of the San Juan Knights. He was a long-time backup, even a third-string point guard for San Juan when Mike Ayonayon was the lead guard for them, especially when they won the championship together with this guy, John Wilson. And, well, Nueva Ecija, like you said, cruising along. 43 puntos na ang kanilang lamang dito.
Ryan Reyes, again, losing the basketball there. And nobody from Quezon City marking John Wilson on the other side. It's just like a practice drill right now for the Rice Vanguards. They're doing everything right. They're pressing all the right buttons. This is a huge lead para sa kanila.
Fan of the game is brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. 78-35. And looks like Nueva Ecija en route to grabbing win number 25 unless Quezon City somehow finds a way. Rudy Distrito, our head of security, together with Ascom Satar. Bola na agaw na naman ng Rice Vanguards. JV to Ken Mocon, who pulls the trigger and cashes in from deep.
Yeah, I watched one of Nueva Ecija's videos sa kanilang social media. At tinatanong nila doon kung sino yung pinaka sa maraming bagay, no?
Okay.
Pinaka gutom after practice, pinaka makulit, pinaka maagang dumating bago mag-practice. At ang pinaka makulit daw si Kenneth Mocon.
Ah, talaga.
Foot on the line there para sa kanya.
Alam mo, dito sa Batangas City, lagi silang umaapak niya sa linya niya. For some reason, I mean, we probably have the most long two-point shots here in this
Actually,
venue.
Siguro nga. You would know, you always cover the games here.
Oh, madalas kami ni Miss Lyra Punsalan dito eh. As Ryan Reyes lays it up and in.
And just look how good defensively Nueva Ecija has been in this game. We're already approaching the halfway point of quarter number 4 here. And Nueva Ecija has only let Quezon City score 37 points in this game.
I mean, when you look at that third quarter, it was the lowest output for Nueva Ecija. They had 20 points, but just holding Quezon City to just 5 points in the third.
And that definitely says a lot. Again, yan yung
Kaapak talaga.
2-point shot ni Kenneth Mocon. Maybe if he were a half size smaller, that would have been a 3-point shot para sa kanya.
43 na rin ang lamang. John Wilson. Supply galing sa labas. Sidney Mosqueda. Dating LSGH to Javi, di ba?
Yes.
Libre siya sa ilalim. Di siya nakita ni Sarah Joseph. It finally gets into his hands. But just a little bit too strong on that floater.
And also the brother of Zamboanga's Chino Mosqueda.
Kapatid pala sila.
Yes, oo.
John Wilson, mintis pa din. I mean, just going back to that Abra San Juan game again, we mentioned yung subplot between Orlan Wamar, Mike Ayonayon, and of course, you've got Marwin Taiwan, first-time All-Star, coming into his own for a different team in Abra. And despite the influx of players, including Mike Ayonayon, he has certainly been the catalyst playing that point guard spot for the Weavers. That should be a fun matchup on Thursday. So Palpal, inabot ni Jam Ramito.
And I think Marwin Taiwan has waited long enough to be having that share of the spotlight, because he really played behind the shadows of Orlan Wamar, although he was a spectacular backup for the Knights and for Orlan Wamar during his time there. Marwin Taiwan has already experienced being a big-time player in this league, and it was only a matter of time before he rose back to that kind of stature. If you remember before, he was the star of the Novotas clutch when we were starting this league. Right now, being the lead point guard for a strong team like the Abra Weavers, that just definitely says a lot about his growth, to be able to orchestrate despite the amount of talent that they have. That's very impressive.
May foul na tinawag, no? Against Quezon City. Still only 37 points. Man, it's been quite a lengthy drought for them.
And this is a team that averages around 75 points per game this season.
Itong free throw na ito, atid sa atin Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
And barely getting half of those points. Yeah, but we do still have 4 minutes and 23 remaining.
Oh, grabe. In a span of almost 2 quarters, they've only held Quezon City to just 11 points.
Ayun na nga eh.
29-26 ito kanina, no?
And this is all in the quest of Coach Don Dulay having his boys prepared and going the extra mile in every opportunity.
Approaching 4 minutes here. Pretty much with the exception of Manaytay and JV Marcelino. These are the third stringers now for Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. Bobby Balucanag, Tyrone Chan, and Ken Mocon. Bobby Balucanag comes away with a steal. JV Marcelino all the way for 2. 83-37. Man. Franz Diaz. He had a couple of threes in the first half, but since then has gone silent. Maging si Jerome Santos din, naka-isa din yan nung second quarter, pero di na natin siya masyado naramdaman dito in the second half.
At kahit gano'ng kalaki na yung naging kalamangan dito ng Nueva Ecija, again, after that scare in the first half where Quezon City threatened to within 3 points, yung energy nila na-sustain talaga no matter who is on the floor. Ngayon, third unit na ito halos ni Coach Don Dulay, pero yung depensa pareho pa rin. Still very tight, still very intense in the way that they deny the options offensively for Quezon City. Even until this point, nahihirapan pa rin pumutos yung Quezon City. And just attempting shots also has actually been a big difficulty already for the guys in black sa laro na to.
I mean, they just pretty much have kept in front of their man from 1 to 15. Ganon yung pinapakita itong mga taga Nueva Ecija. Clark Derigue, nakapasok lang, nakabutas galing sa 3. 86-37. And Nueva Ecija still has 2 games remaining after this one. 3-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances. They'll go up against Parañaque and Rizal. Clark Derigue with a trifecta. So again, top 3 finish already guaranteed for Nueva Ecija in the north. It's just a matter of them staying there or moving up a notch or 2 to grab the top spot. And that's very important, Javi, because considering when you look at Abra right now, they're undefeated at home ever since last season, 5-0, including 2-0 this year. And they went up against Quezon and Pangasinan, certainly no pushovers. Pero nahirapan sila talunin yung Abra on their home floor.
Yeah, yun na nga eh. And that just speaks volumes to the kind of team that the Weavers have built this season. Although pretty much inexperienced yung karamihan nila dito sa ating liga. But obviously, the talent cannot be denied. We have perhaps the best player in the league right now in Dave Ildefonso leading the way para sa kanila. And then he has such an ample support system in almost all positions. Sabi na nga natin, Marwin Taiwan, he has been working things very well at the point guard spot para sa Abra. And then you have a lot of the other guys from the front line. Raven Gonzalez, you have Alfred Batino, Mark Yee is there for that veteran support and presence and to be able to be that guide. And then Josh David, CJ Austria, all these guys, very reliable players who have helped Abra in this very dominant run in the regular season. But of course, even if that has been the case, it still cannot be set in stone that they will win it all this season. Dahil the playoffs is already going to be a different story.
Especially going up against a very experienced team in Nueva Ecija, possibly. Or against San Juan, for that matter. Dalawang teams rich in championship tradition na yung dalawang kupunan na yan. That's something that's often overlooked. No? I mean, all credit to Abra for going all in this season. But again, the championship experience by those two aforementioned teams, Nueva Ecija, San Juan, could come in handy come playoff time. Whether two of those three teams meet, oh boy. Tyron Chan, John Gabriel.
That's the last thing we want to happen, especially in a game which is practically decided already.
Oh, wala na ito. Someone is shouting, I think, on the side of Nueva Ecija. Let's see what happened here. Gabriel and Tyron Chan seem to have gotten entangled. Eto, tignan natin. This was during a free throw.
Check the bottom of your screens there. You see Gabriel getting on Tyron Chan, but it was him and Sarah Joseph who were actually entangled. And then Tyron Chan is trying to stand up for himself right there. Dahil etong si Gabriel, I think he was just trying to stand up for his teammate, but I don't think that there was any reason for him to do so dahil wala namang halos ginawa si Tyron Chan. Nagka-buhol-buhol lang yung mga kamay nila. And that was it. I don't think there was any hit or anything. I found no reason for Gabriel to do that on Tyron Chan.
Oh, parang sa sitwasyon na yun, gusto lang niya makawala, no? Yung sa pagkakabuhol niya kay Sarah Joseph. Man, this one pretty much decided already. 50-point advantage for Nueva Ecija, just waiting for the final score here. We've got Cebu versus Davao Occidental waiting in the wings just after this one. Another crucial tiff.
And it sucks that this had to happen with less than a minute remaining. We only have 44.9 seconds to play in this game.
Medyo matagal yung pag-review ng ating officiating crew. Maynard Centeno, Jay Francisco, and Zen Manansala with George Magsino there.
Yeah, they're really being thorough enough in deciding what punishment to give to both Tyron Chan and John Gabriel.
Well, this pretty much seals the fate for Quezon City. So
Yes.
they're out of the running already in the play-in. And then, yun nga, no, because of the late surge of Pasig City, parang may pagkakataon pa sila, no, na instead na yung number 8 spot, yung paglalabanan nila, posible pa silang lumaban for the number 7 spot if they get to overtake
Foul on
Ilagan
number
Isabela
14,
and
Dino
standings.
Lativo. Penalty, his third foul. It's a double and sportsmanlike foul between number 12 of Nueva Ecija, Tyron Chan, and number 1 of Quezon City, John Gabriel.
Okay. So a foul. And then, both Tyron Chan and John Gabriel whistled for unsportsmanlike fouls. That will pretty much cancel things out. Meron pa ba? Bumalik pa sila sa monitor.
They're still trying to look for something here.
Okay, si Sarah Joseph yung tinawagan nung foul. And then, pagkatapos nun, silang dalawa nga, si Gabriel at si Chan.
Mali lang yung tinawagan ng foul kanina. I think they announced it on someone on the bench for Quezon City.
Yeah, different player. Oh, dahil penalty na ang Quezon City, 2 free throws para kay Tyron Chan. Okay, order restored. Nihintay na lang po dito yung final score. Again, Nueva Ecija, at the very least, mayroon pa silang isang natitirang mabigat na assignment, no? Going on the road at the Inares Center, facing off against Rizal, who, by the way, has a decent shot of finishing at number 2. That's a
Yes.
whole different story in the South Division. Batangas. Ito yung ayaw mo nang mangyari. Ito, unsportsmanlike foul na naman. He's gonna get tossed here.
Yeah, he is. And that's going to make him a suspension for sure.
Round of your respective benches and observe the proper bench decorum.
Here.
Shan was trying to body him up there, and then Gabriel striking his elbow to the facial area nito ni Tyron Chan. Definitely unnecessary. There's no place for that here in this game.
Number 1, John Gabriel.
Wala na.
John Gabriel has committed 2 unsportsmanlike fouls. John Gabriel is
Dalawang
out of the
magkasunod
playing
in a
court.
span of 15 seconds. John Gabriel,
Warning and
unfortunately,
for a
rejected
proper
here,
bench
finishing with 4 points.
I don't know why he acts so surprised here.
Parang kadalasan naman nangyayari yan eh.
The replay definitely does not lie.
Daming ganyang pagkakataon, no? May replay na nga, pero ano pa din eh. Parang bang kamangha-pangha pa rin na pinatawan sila ng ganyang parusa.
Sa bagay, konti lang naman din yung mga kriminal na umaamin sa mga kasalanan nila.
Ay, ibang kwento na yan. Okay, ito mo, Tyron Chan. 4 na free throws. Sunod na ipasok. 91-37. I mean, apart from the big lead, Javi, I mean, you gotta be impressed at how they held Quezon City to what? Just still 11 points in a span of 2 quarters and more.
Yeah, and this is just half of what Quezon City has averaged the entire season. They averaged 75.4 points per game. Tyron Chan hitting that 3-point shot. You see, even the guys from the end of the bench of Nueva Ecija, they're also showing that kind of sharpness that Coach Don Dulay, I think he demands this from everybody on his team. No? It doesn't matter kung sino yung mga babad sa court, but for him, ang importante lahat ng players niya ready. Dahil hindi mo rin naman masabi kung ano yung mangyari in the playoffs when you need those guys to help hopefully step in. There you see Davao being led by Wawi Escocio, who has been playing stellar recently for the Tigers.
I mean, look at this, Javi. They held Quezon City to just 9 points in the second half. I mean,
That's crazy defense.
spectacular defense all around for Nueva Ecija. And just another day in the office, grabbing win number 25 as they eye that number 1 spot still in the North Division. And unfortunately for Quezon City, their run comes to an end, though they still have a few games left in the regular season, but their hopes of making it to the play-in are pretty much toast after this blowout loss against Nueva Ecija. And this guy, once again, came out and showed para dito sa Nueva Ecija, Jammer Hamito. And always, when you have a guy who can produce at a very high level coming off the bench, usually good things are in store para dito sa kanilang kupunan. Nueva Ecija certainly dealing Quezon City a huge blowout here, 94-38. Let's go courtside to Miss Lyra Bunsalan.
Jammer, congratulations. Bida, ang saya talaga. Belated happy birthday to you and to your son, Jaden. 2 consecutive Best Player Awards ka na. Sabi mo nga palagi, hard work and dedication ang dala mo in every game.
Una, thank you kay God, Yahweh, in Jesus' name, amen. Ayun nga, yung sinasabi lang ni Coach kasi papasok na yung playoff. So everyone sa amin, focus kami sa goal namin, na lalo namin mapaganda yung kung ano man yung i-improve namin para sa parating na mga games. Yun lang.
And speaking of playoffs, that same hard work, dedication, and polishing of good habits, sabi nyo nga, paano nyo pa mas mapapanatili sa Nueva?
Yun nga, focus, yung kid yun, focus lang palagi kami sa mga dapat namin i-improve. So yun, tapos yung sila coach, pakinggan namin yung mga tinuturo nila sa amin para sa ikagaganda ng team namin.
Jammer, may mga gusto ka pa bang pasalamatan?
Yun, binabati ko yung asawa ko, si Princess, si James, si Jaden, si Adeline, si Mama, si Papa, mga kapatid ko, si Boss Bong, and Cuevas family, yung mga teammate ko, sila, mga coaches, at saka si Boss Regan, si Ma'am Salves at Benomart family, at Salves, Face Skincare Clinic, yun lang.
Maraming salamat and congratulations, Jammer Hamito of the Nueva Ecija Rise Fangirls. Back to you, Ken and Javi.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. And, well, two teams in the South will lock horns. Potential play-in implications here between Cebu and Davao Occidental. Huwag mo ialis mga kaliga dahil magbabalik pa ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.